I'm Tina, and I want to welcome you all to my Fiesta Cal, which starts today, and I'm so excited. Being ever the organized one, this is how far I've got with my Fiesta, which, well, the joint parts. I have lots of more octagons made here, as you can see, but this is what I've got joined so far. So I've just decided to join in on my own cal, which really is much more fun. So I'll be crocheting along with you guys, doing my big Fiesta. I'm going for 64 octagons for my blanket. Today is the first part and the start of the cal, and I want to show you I will do a tutorial for each part. There are 6 parts in the cal, and I will release them, the first one today on the 25th of October, and then one part each Friday. So for once a week I will post new parts, and it's 6 parts total, so the last part will be published on November 29th. I'll be doing video tutorials for all the parts and showing you each step of the way. So, and those will be available for free here on my YouTube channel. But the cal itself, well, the pattern itself is a paid pattern, and it will be available on half price for $5 during the cal, and then from December 1st I will change it to full price to $10. So you can choose if you just want to do the videos, or if you can support me with buying the pattern. That would be most appreciated. But I just really hope that a lot of you guys will join. I'm having great fun with my Fiesta. It really is a Fiesta of colors. And you can check out my intro video that I posted a couple of weeks ago. And there I'm telling you all about the yarn. And I'm actually encouraging people to do some stash busting with their Fiestas, which is what I basically always do. So I bought some, and then some is from my stash. And you can see all the yarn stats and more color info both in the video and as well on my website. The pattern link, the website, and my Facebook group, Tina's Crochet Club, where we're hosting the cal. You can find the link to all of those here down below in the description. One more thing before we start, I wanted to show you, since I'm not further along with my big Fiesta blankets, I've done a test of the border here for my terrazzo cushion. You can find the tutorial also on my channel for the terrazzo pattern. But as you can see, this is the border here. And this is the small border. There will be 2 borders available. The big one has the same design but thicker lines. So this one is 12 rounds, the big one will be like 26, I think. So I think that's all there is really. Please join the Facebook group for support, but just to say, you don't have to join the Facebook group to join the cal. It's just for extra support and to show your pics and get some color inspirations. And but I mean, we're gonna have a lot of fun over there. So if you want, please join, and if you're on Facebook, join the group as well. So let's just get cracking, and I am so excited to see all your Fiestas in the making. Let's get to it. Okay, before we start, I just wanted to show you a bit of color, different types of color coordinations for this octagon, and also the variation. So this here, I've just laid these on top. This is the Dahlia octagon, which we're going to do now, and this is like the official version of it. There are some variations. Well, there's one variation really, which is like this here, you see? So the difference is, and I'll show you how to do this in the tutorial coming up, but you see the difference is that this line here goes straight up, but here I cut the line so it's more like a star, and then this circular form here. And you can really, there are loads of variation. I have problems with just doing one kinds of stuff. For example, here also, this is the center here for the star flower that I'm going to show you next week, which is part 2. So you can really mix and match once you've gotten started with the pattern. You can really mix it up a bit. And one more thing I wanted to tell you is that don't mind these little squares here. These are just kind of the ones that I was making when in the designing process. So the actual squares I have here, you see, this is Sparkle, the star. This is actually my favorite one. I love this. And then this is treacle, a small star. So those will go in between here, and these won't all be different like here, they're just all the same. This is the saga square actually, which is a pattern of mine. But I really wanted to get some geometrical design in there as well, just to mix it up a bit, because I just thought it wasn't, you know, crazy enough. Yeah, so let's get to the tutorial. I'm gonna show you everything you need to know. Today we're going to start with part 1, which is this first flower, which is called Dahlia. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. Now you can work these with only 2 colors, but I obviously much prefer to do it with various. And you see it really changes from just by adding another color to this round here, it really changes the look of it. So it's a lot of fun to play with colors in this. Okay, so we start with a magic circle. And I love using this bright colors for the center especially. And you do 2 chains, and they do not count as the first half double crochet, they're just to help us. And now we're going to work 15 half double crochets into our magic circle. And 15, and now we're going to break the yarn. Now if you're using only 2 colors, then you will continue with this color A, which is the flower color. But actually I always like to use a different color for the center, because it really makes the flowers pop. Now I've just pulled together my magic loop here, and I'm going to take this, pull the yarn straight out of the last HTC. And now, because we want 16 stitches in this first round, so the last stitch, the 16th, I'm going to make with the invisible join, and I'm going to do it with my hook, not my needle. So you just insert your hook from the back into the first half double crochet of the round, pull the yarn that you cut from the last half double crochet of the round through like so, and then you go back into the last one and pull it down. And so as you can see, we get a perfect stitch here. So it just looks like another half double crochet. And always pull nicely and tightly here the magic loop together. Okay, so this was round 1. Okay, so really if you're just using 2 colors, you're going to be using color A for the first 3 rounds. So it's a bit inconvenient to be cutting the yarn, but it doesn't really matter, because you get this perfect circle when you cut it. And I'm going to work over the tails, so it's no problem. So you just start wherever. I like to start close by my tail here, because I want to work over both tails. And you insert your hook into the back loop, because we're doing Mosaic crochet, into the back loop wherever on the circle really. You're going to pull your new yarn through, make 1 chain, and then we're going to work 2 single crochets, and I'm going to work over my end, you see. 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and 1 into the next. Always like this. 2 single crochets and 1. And now once I've done like half of the round, I'm gonna take this tail here, and I'm gonna work over this one as well. Use this round to work over 2 tails, and we don't have to weave them in. So here I did 1, and then I'll do again 2. Always 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, and then the last single crochet goes into the first stitch of the round where we did our chain in the beginning, like so. That's round 2, and we're just going to continue. And really this round 2 should have been in color B, but it won't show, so I always just do it in the same color because there's no use in it. So now we would go back and continue with color A, and we're going to go into the back loop of the first single crochet of the round, and we're going to pull through with a slip stitch, do 1 chain, And now we start round 3. Always the single crochets go into the back loop, and we do 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and now we're going to start working our double crochets. So we yarn over and we go into the first round here and work double crochets into the first round. In this round, the increase is the double crochet, so you have to take care to work into all your single crochet stitches, even the ones that are behind the double crochet. And now we do again 3 and then 1 double crochet, and this is the repeat for this round. 3 and 1 always. And you can see that the double crochets are going into every other stitch of round 1. And you should have, by the end of this round, you should have 8 double crochets, because we're making an octagon. And as you can see, I'm not using exactly the same weight of yarn here, but that's okay, we're stash busting. Just have it close. Just have to be close enough. And we finish the round with 1, 2, 3 single crochets and 1 double crochet. And now I'm going to change colors and go to color B, which is the main color. That's round 3. Okay, so now it's on to round 4, and now we're going to introduce color B, which is the main color. But I'm actually using this gray here for the main color, but as you can see on this one, it has a color B is the blue here as well. You can do it all just with 2 colors, but I like more colors, so okay, so now we start by joining here into the first SC of last round, and we're going to take our new yarn here with a slip stitch and do 1 chain to fasten. Now you do, and I'm going to work over my tail always. Now you do 2 single crochets always into the back loop, and now we're going to do 2 DCs together around this DC from the last round. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to go on this side of the DC and work 1 here and keep it open like this, because I'm going to do 2. Yarn over again and go on the other side of the DC into the stitch here on the other side and do the second DC here, and we work them together like so. And then there are 3 single crochets in between. This is the repeat for this round. 3 single crochets and then the 2 DCs together around the DC from last round. Like so. Okay, now I've finished most of this round. I'm just going to the last repeat here. 3 single crochets, and I'm working around my tails, both the white and the blue. And then we do the 2 double crochet together. Whoops, they are split here. These 2, and here actually, if you can see, we're on the join from last round, so we want to go to the lower one here, not to this stitch but this one here. Okay, and work them 2 together, and then we just end this repeat with 1 single crochet instead of 3, and always for the last stitch of the round. Oh no, I don't have the new color now. Usually I will work this last stitch of the round around the other color, but I'll show you that later on. Okay, so now we have here round 4 finished, and we move on to round 5, and that's color A again, the flower color, and I'm gonna do a bright pink here now. And we start by joining into the back loop of the first single crochet of this round, of round 4, like so. Do 1 chain, and we're going to use color A in every odd number row from now, and color B is every what do you call it in English? The other ones, the 2, 4, 6. Okay, so now we start, and we're gonna do 1 DC into the next stitch here, and then there comes 1 single crochet into the 2 DCs that were done together here, and we're gonna do now 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 treble. That means you yarn over twice, and this treble goes all the way into the first round, into the yellow, like so. And then again 2 double crochets here. So the repeat is 1 single crochet, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 treble into the middle, and you see these trebles are always going into every other stitch in the first round, and then 2 double crochets here. Okay, so now we're going to finish round 5, and we do 1 single crochet into the 2 DCs together here from the last round, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 treble into the middle, and then we finish this repeat with just 1 double crochet because we did the other one at the beginning of the round. Okay, I'm going to cut this yarn. I'm just going to use that for this round, and I join with color B into the first double crochet of the round, like so, with a slip stitch. Okay, at this point I actually like to weave in some of these end from the start just to be done with that, and a lot of them I've actually already crocheted over. These first 2 here, I've worked over them, so I can just cut, and these here too also, and it's always good to maybe tuck, give them a little tuck, and then just cut like so. I have 2 ends here I want to weave in. Always just grand to be done with that. And like I'm going to show you later on, I always like to make 2 movements like so when I'm working in my ends. And especially the one from the magic loop, you want to do that very securely. Maybe even do 3 movements there just to be sure, because you do not want this center to unravel. Okay, I don't have to do the last one here because I'm going to work over him. So now we've finished round 5. Okay, so on to round 6. I've already joined here, and now I'm gonna do, I did 1 chain also, and we start with a front post double crochet, and I'm gonna work that around the 2 DCs that I did together in round 4. So I yarn over, I put my hook underneath both of those here, like so, pull it through, give it a little extra yarn here so it won't get crumpled, and a normal DC like that. So it's a front post DC there, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, and again a front post double crochet around these 2 here. You see how I put it behind them like that? Whoops. So now, and give them a little extra yarn here like this, and then again 5 single crochets. Okay, now I've almost finished round 6, and I'm going to take this tail that we have from last round and I'm going to work over it here at the end of the round. Usually I will do this at the beginning of the round, but actually I just forgot now. So you can always do it at the end of the round too when you're working single crochets like here. So again, it's 5 single crochets, working over the tail. Then comes our front post, double crochet, like so, and finish with 5 single crochets. And the single crochets always go into the back loop. The last one here. Okay, so this is round 6. On to round 7, and now I'm going to join with the color A, again the flower color, which I'm going to use now for the rest of the flower. And I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the back loop of the first front post DC and do 1 chain here. And now I'm going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. One double crochet into the next, then comes 1 single crochet always into the back loop, again 1 double crochet here and 2 double crochets into the next one, and then 1 single crochet into the front post, and I'm going to work those into both loops. Actually, it just gives a neater finish. So this is the repetition for round 7. 2 DCs into the same stitch, 1 DC, 1 SC, 1 DC, 2 into the next, like so, and then 1 single crochet into both loops of the front post. Okay, so now I'm finishing round 7. Did the 1 single crochet here. I'm gonna do 1 double crochet into the next one, and then as you can see here we have a join here on the last double crochet that we're going to work into. So like always, we're going to go and get this one here that is like lower, and you work 2 double crochets into this, and then to hide the tail a bit, I like to work the last stitch of the round around next color. So I just put it up on my hook like so, and do the last single crochet here. And now I'm going to join into the first double crochet of the round with color B again, like so. So that's round 7. Okay, so we start the round with 1 chain like usually. We do 2 single crochets into the back loop and 1 double crochet here, and then come 7 single crochet. And then again 1 double crochet here. There's actually a variation of this round. I have many variations of each flower because I can never just keep to one idea. And then you just add 1 front post here. It's all written in the pattern, but then you do the front post here like so. And then just to show you the difference, if you can see here, it's not connected to the little circle here, but in this one here you see it connects all the way up. So that's the variation if you want to add this front post DC there, but I'm not going to do this one like that because it's not the official one. So I just continue and do always 7 single crochets between my double crochets in this round, and the double crochet always goes into here where we did the single crochet in last round, like so. Okay, so now we've done 7 repeats here, and I'm going to finish this round doing 1 double crochet and then
5 single crochets, and the last single crochet always lands in the join here, and I'm going to work that around my new color like so, and we are always moving the join one further. I like to do it like that just to hide it a bit. I always do that when I'm working in the round. So now we join into the first single crochet of the round with a slip stitch with color A, the flower color again. So this is round 8 finished. Okay, so on to round 9. This is with color A, the flower color. I've already done the chain 1, and we're going to start by doing 1 double crochet here, 1 single crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to do an increase. We're going to do 3 single crochets, and this is an increase, so this first single crochet goes kind of behind our last double crochet, 2 and 3, and because this is the increase, now we're going to do 3 double crochets. We kind of have to back down. We're not going to go into this one, we're going to go here. So we've increased 2 stitches now by doing those single crochets behind the double crochets. And then we just repeat again. 1 single crochet, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, remembering to kind of back one in that first one, and the single crochet to this one. Okay, so now I'm finishing round 9 here. Do 1 single crochet into the double crochet, come 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, the increase, sorry, and then I have to do 2 double crochet at the end. And here I'm going to go into this stitch here, and as you can see we're on a join, so we have 1 above and 1 below, and we're always going to go into the one below because that's much prettier. So 1 double crochet here and 1 here, and I'm going to work this last one around my tail with a new color like so, and then I'm going to join into the back loop of the first DC of the round with color B and 1 slip stitch and 1 chain here. So that's round 9. Okay, so I already did the chain, so round 10 starts now. 1 chain, which I did, and then 1 front post double crochet, and it's going to go around this double crochet from round 8 like so, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet into the stitch that is here kind of behind this DC here, it's the increase, 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet, again this one is kind of behind this one here, and then come 3 single crochets and 1 front post. This is the repeat for this round. 3, the front post 1, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet here, 1 single crochet, another double crochet here, and then again 3 single crochets. That's the repeat for round 10. Okay, so now I'm finishing round 10. We finish with 3 single crochets. The last one goes into the join here and around color A, which is coming up next, like so, and then we join with color A into the back loop of the first front post DC of the round. So that's round 10. Okay, so on to round 11. working with color A, the flower color now. Do one chain here, and then there's one single crochet into the next one, and now come 3 double crochets, and this single crochet is actually an increase, so we're going to work our first double crochet a bit back here into the loop that is straight below the single crochet that we just did. And 1, 2, 3 double crochet, and then we do one single crochet here, and then we're going to work a cluster of 2 double crochets together into the next stitch here in the middle, like so. One single crochet and then 3 double crochets, and they just go into the double crochets from round 9. And now we're going to do the increase, so I'm going to just tuck a bit this way, and we're going to do 3 single crochets here. One, they start before the front post. So 1, 2, 3, this is the increase, and again 3 double crochet just into all the double crochets from round 9, 1 double crochet into the DC, a cluster of 2 double crochets together here, 1 single crochet and 3 DCs, and 3 single crochets, the increase. This is the repeat for round 11. Okay, so now we're at the end of round 11. I'm gonna do the 3 DCs here. Oops, split the yarn. There we go. And we finished this last repeat with only 2 DCs. And see here, the last DC of the round goes to the join, adds in a join, so we want to not go into this one here, but one below, like so. There, to make the join neater. And we finish with 2 single crochets because we started with 1 single crochet, so we finish with 2 instead of 3. And as always, working the last single crochet around the new color. We join into the first SC with color B and chain 1 to start the next round. On to round 12. We did the chain 1, and now I'm going to do 3 single crochets, 1 front post DC around the DC from second to last round, 1 single crochet into the cluster here in the middle, 1 front post here, and then again 3 single crochets and 3 double crochets. This is the repeat for round 12. Okay, so now we're here at the end of round 12, and we're going to finish it with 3 single crochet and then 3 double crochet. And then we join with color A into the first single crochet of the round. So that's round 12. Actually, at the end of round 12, this one actually looks okay, but sometimes there you can see there it's a bit of a taco look that we have here. But don't despair. It's I'm cheating a bit, adding some extra stitches. I'm cheating a bit on the stitch count to be able to add more detail to the flower petals. So if it's a bit crunchy at this moment, at this point, just don't worry about it. It will all straighten itself out before you finish. Okay, so that's round 12. Okay, on to round 13. We're going to start with a chain like always. And now we're going to do 3 DCs, and they're going to go into these 3 here DCs from round 11. So we're kind of backing it up a bit here for the first one. 1, 2, 3, and then there's 1 single crochet into the DC here, and now we're going to do a front post around these 2 together here. So you just yarn over, go like this, give it a bit of extra yarn there, and finish your DC normally. And then there's 1 single crochet here, 3 DCs, and now comes the increase for this round. We're going to do 5 single crochets here. So the first single crochet goes kind of behind the last DC we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and when we start the repeat again, take care to back a bit here for the first DC of these 3. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the front post 1, then we do a front post around these 2 together, always with some extra slack here so it won't get crumpled. 1 single crochet, and then the 3 here. DCs, which make up our petal, and 5 single crochets. This is the repeat for round 13. Now I've done 2 repeats. Okay, so now we're here at the end of round 13, and we're just going to finish it off with 5 single crochets. And as before, the last one goes into the join and around color B, which is coming up. And then we join with color B into the back loop of the first DC of the round. So that's round 13 finished. Okay, so now we're going to go to round 14, and it's with color B. We start with 1 chain, and then we work 3 single crochets always into the back loop, and now we're going to do 2 front post DCs together into these 2 here. So we're kind of closing up this here. So we're going to yarn over, work 1 front post here, and then yarn over again and work the second one around the second front post here. And then you have 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to go through all of them like so. And now we do 4 single crochets. Oops. Then 5 DCs. Let's do 1 more repeat to show you. Now we do 4 single crochets, and then we get to the 2 front posts together. First one we're going to put here, the second one here, and then close them together like so. So we have this like drop shape here, and 4 single crochets again, and then continue with 5 DCs. So this is the repeat for round 14. Okay, so now we're going to finish round 14 and work these 5 double crochets here. The last double crochet goes into the join here, and then 1 single crochet at the end, and work over our tail from color A, which is coming up. We're going to join into the first single crochet of the round with a slip stitch like this. So that's round 14. On to round 15. We're going to start with a chain like always, and then we work 1 DC here, and next up are 2 DCs work together on each side of this here, like so, Whoopa. And then 1 DC here. I'm going to skip the next stitch and do 1 DC into the last DC here. And now there are 7 single crochets here in between. 6 and 7. And let's just do 1 repeat more to show you. We start here with 1 DC here. We're going to backing it up for 1 because the single crochet here were the increases. And then we're going to skip the next stitch, go 1 DC into this one, and then we're going to do our 2 DCs together around the top of our decoration there. I don't know what this is called in English, like so. And then 1 DC here, skip the next stitch, and 1 DC here. And then again 7 single crochet. So this is the repeat for round 15. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we're at the end of round 15, and in the next round we're gonna do another color for color bee. So I just cut my bee here, and I'm gonna work over this tail here in these last single crochet stitches. So I have to do 7 single crochet stitches, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna do 1 double crochet into this stitch here. You see this double crochet, the first pink one here, and then I just skip 1 stitch here and join into the first double crochet of the round. And now I'm gonna take my main color, this gray. I'm using this very nice yarn for the main color called Jameson and Smith. It's just lovely to work with. I really like it. It's very light, and I love the colors they have. They have like tons of grays, so I have a variation of grays for my main color. So I'm going to join here with the new color B. Just go ahead and do the chain here at the beginning. So this is round 15 finished. Okay, on to round 16. I already did the chain at the beginning of the round, and now I'm going to do 3 single crochets into all my DCs, my pink DCs, and into the next stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets. And by the way, now we're kind of done with the difficult part, and it's easy from now on. And then we do 2 double crochets, just 1 into each of the next 2 stitches, and then another 2 into the same stitch. Whoopa. And 1 into each of the next 2, and then 2 double crochets into this last one. So as you see, we did 2 stitches into this one, then 2 just normal, then 2 into this stitch, 2 normal, and then 2 into this one. So we're doing quite a bit of an increase here in this part. And now we work 5 single crochets over our petal. And that's the repeat for this round 16. Okay, so now I'm just going to finish round 16 here. I've done almost all the rounds. And again, it's 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, 2 double crochets into the middle here, same stitch, and then just 1 into each of the next 2. again 2 here at the end into the same stitch, and then we finish with 2 single crochets because we did 3 in the beginning, and the last one goes like so into the join and around our color A, and then we're going to join with color A into the first single crochet of the round like so. So this is round 16. Okay, we're gonna chain 1, and we're going to skip this stitch here and go straight into this one here with 1 DC into the last of the pink DCs here, you see the petal, and then we work 12 single crochets over all the DCs from last round. 11 and 12, and now we work the petal, and we're going to do 1 DC into this one here. We're kind of backing up a bit, and then we go to 3 DCs together, 1 into each of the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3, and then we close them all together like so, and then 1 DC into the last one. Okay, and then just again 12 DCs, no, 12 single crochets over the DCs. Okay, I'm going to show you 1 petal more. So the first DC goes into this one here, backing it up a bit, and then the 3 together, 1, 2, 3, and pulling them all together, and then the DC here. So this is the repeat for round 17. Okay, so now I'm at the end of round 17 here. I've done the last 12 single crochets, and I'm going to finish this petal here. I'm going to do 1 single crochet, backing it up a bit, going over here, and then I'm going to do 3 together. And the first one here, you see there's a join, so I'm always going to go into the lower one here. 1, 2 and 3, and closing them up together, and then I'm going to join into the back loop of the first DC of the rounds using color B like so. Okay, so that's round 17 done. On to round 18. So we chain 1 like always, and we're going to work 2 DCs into the next stitch, which is here, 1 and 2, and then we work 5 double crochets, just 1 into each of the next 5 stitches, 3, 4 and 5, and then we do 1 chain and another 5, fifth here, and then we do 2 double crochets into the next stitch like so, and then we work 3 single crochets over the pink, over the petal, and this is the repeat for round 18. Okay, so now I've finished most of round 18 here, and I just have to finish the last 3 single crochets, and the last one goes into the join and around our new color like so, and then we join into, always skipping the slip stitch of course, join into the first DC here with color A, in a slip stitch. So that's round 18. On to round 19. So we start with a chain like always, and now we're going to work 15 single crochets. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and the 7 lands in the chain. We just work that in the back loop of the chain like the others. 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, and 15. And now we're going to close off our petal, our flower petal, and we're going to do 3 DCs together. The first DC and the last are worked as a front post, just to kind of lift the end of the petal off. I'm going to show you. So you yarn over and you do the first DC as a front post around this one. The second one just goes normal into the middle here, and the third goes around this one, worked as a front post. So, and then pull them all together like so. And now we work 17 single crochets over all the double crochets from last round, and it's always the 9th single crochet here that lands in the middle here into the chain. Okay, and I just want to show you this 3 together again once more, just to have it completely clear. So the first and the last are worked as front posts around this one here. It's the first, normal DC into the middle, and the third front post as well, like so, and then pull them all together. So that's the repeat for round 19. It's the 17 single crochets over this, and then we're closing off our petal here. Okay, so now we're finishing up round 19. Just going to show you the last petal here again. So it's 1 front post, doing the 3 together, 1 normal here in the middle, and then there's like a bit of a reach here, you see, around this one here. Maybe give it a bit extra slack here of yarn, and pull them all together, and we finish by doing 2 single crochets, because remember we started the round with 15 and we always want 17 between, and the last one goes around color B here like so, and then we're going to join into the first single crochet with a slip stitch with color B. And now this is the last round with color A, so we're going to cut the yarn here, and there you go. That's round 19 for you. Okay, so now we're going to do round 20, and now we're almost at the finish line. So we start with 1 chain, and then we're going to work 5 double crochets, 4 and 5, and then we're at the chain from round 18, and into the chain we're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and another double crochet into the same stitch into the chain here. We're kind of making the corners here now for our octagon, and now we do 8 double crochets. Whoopala. And just take care, the 8th is kind of like here in the back, you see. And then we're going to do 1 half double crochet here into the top of our 3 DCs together from last round, and that's just to kind of lift it a bit. And now I'm going to work into both loops of these three DCs together here. Just yarn over and do 1 half double crochet here. Okay, and then we get to the repeat. We're going to do 8 double crochets. Here's the 8th, and then into the chain we're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and another double crochet into the same chain here, and then again 8 DCs. Seven, and the 8th is right here, up kind of behind here, and then always the half double crochet into both loops here, like so. So that's the repeat for round 20, and you see now these corners are emerging here. Okay, so now we're here at the end of round 20. I did the half double crochet into the top of the petal here, and now we need 3 more double crochets to finish. And the second one goes into the join, so we have to take care to go into the bottom one. Okay, like this. And now that we're doing these simple rounds, I just want to cut the yarn each round because that gives a neater finish. So now we're going to pull right through like this, and we're going to do an invisible join. But take care that now we have a complete stitch count here. We have these 3. So we have to do the invisible joint over our first DC so that we're not adding a stitch. So I'm going to put, here's the first DC of the round. I'm going to insert my hook here into the second DC of the round from the back, pull the yarn through like so, and then go from the back into the last DC of the round like so, and pull the yarn through again. Okay, so now I've done an invisible joint over the first DC of the round. And now next round, round 21 can be, if you're going to do the simple version, then this is the last round. But if you're going to do my little frame here around, then it's not the last one, and this is a single crochet round. We're kind of framing it up here now. And I'm going to work over this end here, so I always like to put it like this so I don't miss it. And I'm going to give myself some space to work over it here. So I'm going to start with this new color here. This is really color C, the color for the frames, like this here, you see. But you can use, if you want to continue, if you're just using 2 colors, you can always use color A, of course. But I'm using I'm using all kinds of darkish blue for the frames, for color C. So you can just start whatever. I want to start always here in the middle of one side, and you insert your hook into the back loop and get your yarn up and do 1 chain, and I'm going to work over this tail here, and we're just going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch, and I'm going to work over the tail for a bit here so I don't have to weave them in. And now when I get to the corner, I'm just going to do the corners where we have 1 chain from last round. If this is your last round, if you're doing the simple version, then you do 2 chains here for the corner. But I'm going to do just 1 because I'm going to continue and do all the 23 rounds. 1 chain here. If this is your last round, do 2 chains for each corner. And you skip the chain and go into the back stitch loop of the next stitch, like so. We continue working single crochets, and I'm going to get my tail here from last round, and I'm going to work over that as well so I don't have to weave in any ends. And we continue the whole way around in this round just working single crochet stitches into each stitch until you get to a corner. Then you do 1 chain, 2 if you're having this as your last round, 1 chain and skipping the chain from last round. See, now I'm getting to the corner. I just do 1 chain, skip the chain and continue. And the whole round is like this. Okay, so now we're finishing here round 21. And it's just single crochet into each stitch. And here I'm going to skip the last stitch. You see, I should make 1 into this one here, but I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to work an invisible join there instead. So when I'm missing just this last stitch where we did fastened our yarn in the beginning, I'm just going to pull the yarn through, insert my hook from the back into the first single crochet of the round, pull it through like so, and then I insert my hook into the middle of the last single crochet of the round like this, and pull it through again. And as you can see, we have a perfect invisible join here, like so. Okay, so if this was your last round, if you're going to do the simple version, then this is your last round. And remember, then you have to do 2 chains in the corner. It's not exactly the same stitch count as if we do all 23, but it still fits the squares in the joining. Do not worry, I've got you. Now I'm going to start again. I always like to start here so I can work over my tail here. And now I take color A again. We're going to start around 22 just right away. And now we're going to work a double crochet round, but normal double crochet. We're just going to work into our stitches from round 21, not into round 20 here. So just insert your hook into the back loop of anywhere in round 21. And we're going to get our color A here. Do 1 chain, no, 2 chains, sorry. You can't do 3. I know you're supposed to do 3 for double crochet, but I don't really like it. I think they get too long. So I do 2. Yarn over, and now we're going to work, I'm going to work over my tail as well. And now we're just going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch of this round. And we're supposed to have 19 double crochets between corners. So it's enough to work like maybe 8 or 10 stitches over your tail, because we're working into each stitch, so it's quite enough. Then we don't have to weave in our ends later. So you can actually do this round 22 as the last round as well. You could stop after this round if you want. And then the same goes for this round as for round 21, if you're going to stop there. That we work 2 chains in the corner instead of 1 if it's your final round, but I'm doing all 23. So now I've gotten to my corner stitch here, the chain. I'm gonna let go of my tail there, and I just do 1 chain and I skip the chain from here and I go straight into the back loop of the next one. And now I'm gonna take advantage of this here. I'm gonna take my other tail from the end of round 21 and I'm gonna work over that as well, always saving time for weaving ends. So just 1 double crochet into each stitch of this round. You should have 19 double crochets between corners, and once you get to the corner, to the chain, then you just work 1 chain and skip the chain and continue like this. Okay, so now I'm almost finished with round 22. Just wanted to show you the corner here again. I'm almost up to the corner here. Here's the last stitch before the chain. It's just a normal DC into the back loop. And then I chain 1. Remember, if you're doing this as your last round, then you chain 2 here. And we skip the chain and go into next stitch. So we finish this round. It's all double crochets into the back loop of last round, and you should have 9 double crochets between corners. And now I'm getting to the end here, 2 more. Here's the last one, and I'm going to cut the yarn and do an invisible join again, because it's so easy to work over our tails here, and it's so much neater if you're always moving the join, you know. Okay, so we just pull the yarn straight through, and we're going to skip these 2 chains here I did in the beginning, and we're going to work our invisible join over them. So into the first double crochet of the round, I'm going to insert my hook from the back, both loops, pull the yarn through like this, then I insert my hook into the middle from the back of the last DC of the round, and pull the yarn through like so, and here you see we have a perfect invisible join. And as you can see, it would make a nice finish also just to do this as the last round, really. But I have one more for my full version, which is round 23, but this is round 22 finished. Okay, so on to round 23, our last round. And again, I'm going to work over this tail here, so I always like to put it over here so I don't forget about it. And I'm going to start here. We're going to start wherever. We're working a single crochet round and always into the back loop. So insert your hook into the back loop, wherever you want really. I want to do it on the middle of my one side here. Pull your yarn through, do 1 chain, and I'm going to work over my tail. And just work 1 single crochet into each stitch, always into the back loop. And I'm using color C again now. This is my frame color. And I'm going to work 1 single crochet into each double crochet from last round. This was the last one before the corner. You see here, here's my chain, corner chain. And for the corners, I'm going to do always the same. I'm going to do 1 extra chain, 1 treble into the chain from round 21 in the corner here. So once, twice, 3 and 4, like so, and then 1 extra chain here. So the corner is 1 chain, 1 treble into the chain from round 21, and then 1 extra chain. And then I start working into the back loop of the next DC, like so. And now I'm going to take my tail from round 22 here and work over it, so we don't have to weave that in. And we just continue with 1 single crochet into back loop of each stitch. So you should again have 19 single crochets between corners. And let me just show you 1 more corner so that we have it all under control. It's quite simple. Okay, so now we have 19 single crochets. We're on to next stitch. Here is the chain. Then I do 1 chain, yarn over twice, work a treble into the chain from round 21, 1 chain, and then find my first DC here after the corner and just continue working 1 single crochet into the back loop always. So this is the whole round, is like this, round 23, the last round. Okay, so now I've finished the last stitch of round 23, and I'm going to cut the yarn, and we're going to finish with an invisible join like before. But now, since I won't be able to crochet over this end, I will just do the invisible round with a sewing needle and weave in the end at the same time. So we do the same as before. We're going to skip this last stitch here where our first chain of the round is, and we're going to insert our sewing needle here under both loops of the first single crochet of the round, go through like this, and then back into the last single crochet of the round, into the middle like this. This is a bit dark, I don't know if you see it very well, but and so now we have a perfect finish. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the weaving in. I sometimes get questions, well, not sometimes, often get questions about how to finish. So I'm going to do my ends here as well, so you can see. So first of all, so this is the back side of it. First of all these ends that we were working over in our last rounds, we can just tug at them a bit like this, so they're nice and tight, and cut them, because we already worked over those. So that's a huge help. Here's another set of them. Always tug at them first, like that. And then I'm gonna cut here. And as you see, we don't have so many ends that we have to weave in really. This one here I already worked over as well. So I just tug at it and cut. And we already did the first ones, so there's only 2 more ends here. So I'm gonna show you how I do. Weaving in the ends is really just, common sense. You want to do it nicely so you can't see it, and you want to do it, properly so it won't unravel, right? So I just always try to make 2 movements with each end. And it's just going under like so, always in the same color as you're hiding. 1 movement, and then I like to go 1 stitch back and then carry it on like this. So it's 2 movements, and I do 1 back stitch here. It's kind of just like a safety back stitch there, just so if the first part unravels, then I have what do you call, a backup plan, right? So like this, and then back 1 stitch and do the same again, just like this. So easy. So next up, it's finished, voila. But as you can see, there is a huge difference between this one that is not blocked and these 2 here that are blocked. Can you see? So, and I know that I've seen, you guys talk about maybe that blocking isn't that important. Well, blocking really is where the magic is. I can tell you this much. So I'm just going to show you now how to block as well, and encourage you to do your blocking of each piece before joining. It really is nicer, and also it's the best trick for making nice social media pics. Blocked versus unblocked. There's no competition here really. So next up, blocking. Okay, so blocking, I think actually when you're using, I way prefer wool to acrylic, and this works better with wool actually, because acrylic is just plastic, so it doesn't really, you can't block it as well as wool and natural fibers. But, so when you block, you want to use maybe a bit warm water. I usually just do this in the sink, but to show you here, I'm just going to do it in this little bowl, and it's just wetting it completely. And it's not delicate or anything. You can do this, but you don't want to. It's basically when you do the, how do you say this in English, like this, drying it, or like taking out the water. I'm gonna see if everything is, you can see the color really. If everything is darker, then it's fine. And so when you take out the water, I don't know how to say this in English, you have to do that a bit gently, like so. Just kind of like, don't go twisting it or anything, just kind of bowl it together like this. And it can be a bit wet, you want it wet obviously, but not dripping. So once you wet it, then you put it on some kind of plastic surface like this. I will use, when I'm doing big pieces, I will use camping mattresses, like old ones, but it's really nice to have these blocking pieces like these. And I always just do this freehand, like so, but you can get motifs off the internet, and so that you have everything perfect. I'm not really that type of person, but it's really nice as well, but just to give it a bit of a better form. So you want to have also blocking needles like these are very comfortable, and it's best to have them rust free obviously, because you're using wet pieces. So we're going to go into the trebles in the corners here, and like I said, I just do this from by eye, and it's not going to turn out perfect, but it's going to look much nicer than before. So starting with all the corners, like so, into your trebles, and just pulling them out a bit like this and trying to make it as even as you can. Like this. And once I've gotten this, I'm gonna kind of look at it and make it a bit nicer. Once I've done all the corners, then I'm gonna just tuck a bit at the petals. I like to do it just here at the top of the petals, like this. And then I push this up, like so. It's nice to do when you do this one, then you do the other one opposite. Like this. And like I was saying, this really does make all the difference for, I mean, I can just tell you that I will not post a pic of anything I do on social media without first blocking it. It really is where the magic happens. I mean, this is what pushes your work from being, you know, nice to just gorgeous. It really does make all the difference. Just everything gets so smooth and flat, and it's just lovely. And also when you're doing a blanket with many components like this, it's just nicer to do it as you go. I will then block lightly when I put it all together, but this is the main blocking that I'll do. So as you can see, this is really all there is to it. You can always, you know, if you see some parts that are not nice or something, you can kind of tug at them. I think this one looks quite all right. And like I said, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just do it by eye, but it really does look much better. And then I just pop it on. We have thermal califaction here in Iceland, so I put it there so it will dry quickly, but it will dry overnight. So there you go, part 1 completed, blocking and all. Let's go on to Fiesta. Okay, so I really hope that answered all of your questions for part 1. Just to clarify, it's 6 parts, and this is the part today, which is the dahlia octagon. And there are 3 types of octagons with different types of flowers, and then there are 3 types of squares, and then there's the triangles, and then there's the border. So lots of fun ahead. Again, I'm so excited to see all your fiestas in the making. I'm already seeing some color choices over at the group and on Instagram. The official hashtag for the cal is just hashtag Fiesta Cal. And for those of you who don't speak Spanish, fiesta obviously means party. So please join the fiesta fun and our little party, and looking forward to seeing what you make with it. Ciao!